it comes to protecting and preserving artwork, not all matboard is created equal. The materials that are used in the construction of a matboard have a tremendous effect on how long it will last and how safe it is next to a valuable art print. There are 3 levels of matboard available for use in framing, and they can be thought of as good, better, and best options. So what does it take to make a matboard conservation quality and safe for art? The industry looks to several governing bodies to establish and maintain quality standards for all products and materials. The Library of Congress and the Fine Art Trade Guild are the 2 most influential in setting guidelines for the preservation of artwork. All Crescent conservation matboards are manufactured with these standards in mind. The most prominent standards measure purity, fade, bleed, and acid content, but there are many others, including the measuring of thickness, rigidity, metallic and chemical impurities, all to ensure that the products that are closest to the art, the matboards, are up to the task of protecting and displaying the art for years to come. These key benchmarks for conservation quality are important to understand because consumers look to you to know why the products you specify are the right ones for their framed piece. So let's look briefly at a few of the key conservation standards to help you confidently establish peace of mind for consumers and create a value for the products you sell. The fade test ensures that the color of the mat will not fade or discolor over time, even if the customer places their artwork in direct sunlight. Part of paper is exposed while the rest is covered up to shield it from a special light that simulates many years of exposure to sunlight. Paper must not fade more than 5 points of brightness in 36 hours of high-intensity light to pass this test. Crescent conservation matboards meet this standard and help ensure that the framed piece looks as good 30 years from now as it did the day your customer picked it up from your store. The bleed test is designed to ensure that moisture will not cause the coloration of the matboard to run or transfer onto the artwork. This can be an issue in particularly humid environments, so conservation matboards are engineered to pass this extremely harsh test. The black piece is the product to be tested. It is wrapped in white paper, submerged in water, and held down by weights for 48 hours. In order for a matboard to pass the test, no color can transfer into the water or onto the white paper, which represents your art. Crescent conservation matboards are engineered to pass this test to help keep art safe no matter what environment it's placed into. The 3rd key conservation standard measures acidity. Acid and lignin are 2 of the most common and dangerous components of plant fiber and can be quite harmful to artwork. As you can see here, this artwork has been badly acid burned by a matboard that was not up to conservation standards. Acid and lignin played a large part in permanently damaging this art. So, how is acidity measured? Since it can cause so much damage to artwork, acid needs to be closely measured. The pH scale can help us visually demonstrate the difference between acid levels, as well as where different matboard types fall on the scale. Too acidic and too alkaline are both bad, so the goal is to be neutral to slightly alkaline, pH between 7 and 8.5. For non-conservation matboards that start out on the acidic side of the pH scale, buffering is added to temporarily neutralize and slow down the effects of the acid on the pulp fiber. Over time, however, the acid will overpower the buffering agent and cause the matboard to become acidic. Conservation boards like Crescent Select are made from purified wood pulp, start out as non-conservation, but are chemically purified to the point where all acid and lignin is removed so that pH is neutral. Buffering helps to ensure that it stays pH neutral and safe for art. Museum quality matboards like Ragmat are made with cotton fiber, which is naturally acid and lignin free. So it starts and stays pH neutral. Cotton matboards are also buffered to comply with all conservation standards. To recap, conservation boards are much more than just acid-free mats. They meet all industry standards for quality and permanence. Crescent developed and produces some of the most recognizable and important brands in our industry. Ragmat, our premium cotton matboard line, has long been recognized as the leader in preservation matting. In addition, Crescent markets additional conservation products such as Crescent Select and Mormon fabrics. All Crescent conservation matboards are conservation quality and safe for artwork. This is a strong selling feature that can help justify the cost of the job and build peace of mind with the customer.